Mostly my family, I'll say. It's because like they've shaped me into who I am, and like I wouldn't want to do something that makes them upset or mad at me, but I'm pretty sure if I do something that's against their wishes, I'll have a reason to, and I'm pretty sure that they'll support me through it.
Even with like my siblings and stuff, we've all grown up with kind of less boundaries, and so like it's kind of been put on us like to make our own, and like I'm not saying they didn't teach us anything, but like I think through the freedom that I was given without authority, like that can be helpful too. Just finding your own steps, like having the authority be able to give you space and give you freedom.
Like I didn't have a lot of, like restrictions from my parents about what to follow and what not to follow. It was kind of up to me until something like really bad was happening, and then my parents would step in. But like I noticed that with a lot of other people, they've had a really big authoritative figure in their life, and that has like really changed them. So because of that, I have various different opinions on how authority forms the world.
Related to the school itself, like my family, like my parents were like not very sure about the idea of me coming to school, and they were like very unsure that I'll be able to do something actually. But then my brother, he fought for me, and then I over to him like that I'm here and I'm doing something in art. So yeah, like there can be moments where they can be wrong, but then they support me through like my major decisions in life.
Following a lot of the rules that I did follow in high school got me teacher recommendations with the teachers that I wanted, and I was able to participate in a lot of different clubs as part of the elective boards and different things, because I did like listen to authority and was generally like aligned with them. So I think it made things easier in terms of reaching places for me.
The sort of like set of like ground rules, because like I said before, like if I was just like really like given like freedom to do like whatever I wanted, I would not turn out a good person. I can tell you that. That's kind of the things like what I love and hate about my mom, because she's a helicopter mom, and as much as I hated her like always like constantly being on me, I loved her for that, because she really like kept me on my feet. So yeah.
Because they gave me birth. I literally crawled from my mom's vagina like 19 years ago. So they give me birth. If they don't exist, I don't exist, and they offer me food. They offer me like an education, all that kind of good stuff. I mean, of course they are the authority because they have greater power. Their voice matters more because they have more control over us. Because I mean they're paying my tuition, and I have to respect their opinions on things.
My mom, her authority. Why? It's not 'cause she raised me. If somebody has the right to say something, it's probably her. She doesn't have a right over me. It was just like if her authority is like the biggest. I would say like the one that I would consider reasonable. Like anybody else would not. It doesn't really have anything to do with me. Like their authority, I would question.
You should do a lot of investigation before you actually like step out of the line to say what you're gonna say.
I respect people who disobey authority based on what they believe, but for people who are just disobeying authority for the sake of disobeying, then it lacks purpose.
A higher power that you can look up to, and I say can look up to because you don't necessarily have to follow nor obey them, depending on who like the authority is. Like if we're like saying like police officers, obviously you're not gonna disrespect a police officer. You know, you're gonna be polite and modest, things like that. also like the same thing with parents. They made you, and you should respect them and everything like that. But I definitely think it's okay to like every once in a while rebel, depending on who the authority is.
I have been working at a martial arts school for most of my life, and so like I've always like been taught to follow the rules because people will follow whatever example, or like not people, like students or my peers would follow the example that I was leading. So I always did feel like I had to follow any and all of society's rules. No, most definitely not. Actually, most people who were my friends used to call me the resident good girl of the school. So yeah.
I was one of the teacher's pets, and she would give me a lot of authority over controlling and disciplining other students. And because I held a lot of authority in the classroom, I think in that sense, authority taught me how to understand people and at the same time enforce the rules. But at the same time, because I have so much authority, I felt like I always overstep and enjoy the idea of the power that's carried with authority.
I don't care whether other people ignore authority because I can't control them, and I'm not their parent, let's just say that. So it's really all up to the person themselves to do what they think is right. And they obviously know that they have like these specific things it's supposed to follow, but I can't control whether they do it or not, so I really don't care what other people do.
Because of democracy, that makes us as the part of the authority, because our vote, our voices matters.
Without the being born in like America, I think things would be a lot different. I think the authority changes interpretation on certain people still today. So, like, I've been privileged as a white male, like middle class kid.
I would say well, Belarus is a dictatorship country, and like that has a lot of implications. As a person who has that passport, I am a citizen, so it does affect I would say that authority affects the most. It's just kind of people grow up in a constant fear.
The image of a leader is what people aspire to be. So for example, during Cultural Revolution in China, Chairman Mao's image is sort of what everybody worshipped to be almost like a godly figure. And so whatever he says, people aspire to achieve. And that's what also caused so much trouble during, the Cultural Revolution. But, without the existence of a lot of figures, or if the rules set forth before are taken away, then people would definitely have a different image of how things should be.
I'm kind of agnostic, so I don't know if I believe in the higher power, but if it were to exist, I just think the authority of being good is all that you can really be.
Because I'm a Christian, so I believe that God holds the highest authority, and because of that, my life and my purpose revolve around what I believe in to be the authority, and because it holds a purpose for me, and so everything I do is built upon the authority I recognize.
The things that I do are usually purposeful, or I guess my authority is my conscience. So having a conscience is a very important authority to keep the world from falling apart.
The world would be a complete chaos and like it would fall to its ruins, and that scares me. Like, had there been no rules or like an authority like that, which like put people in the right place. But sometimes I feel like that authority can be overpowering itself. So like there has to be a certain kind of balance.
If we like didn't have like police, SWAT, things like that, it would be like anarchy. So yeah, it definitely does change more or less how I see the world, because I always think about like what it would be like if we did not have like as much police around and like didn't spend so much money on military, like how the world would be shaped. The world literally will just fall apart because there's nobody to like tell us like, hey, you know, you might want to stop that real quick before like everything just falls apart.
Having no authority means it becomes kind of chaos, because nobody is there to tell people what to do. I guess it sounds bad, but like sometimes people just need to be told what to do. Again, like it depends what kind of authority we're dealing with. If it's a democratic authority, like that's one thing. If it's a dictatorship, like that's obviously another question. But I don't think there should be like no authority at all in anybody's life. I mean, that I guess you could say that's a complete freedom, but then like, is it like, I don't know. I don't think it's healthy to have no authority.
It's the time that we have to question everything about like the superior power, aka authority. Like, what is the right thing to do? What is the wrong thing to do? Is our government doing everything right? You know, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you know, like it's just questioning it. And if they're wrong, you know, you just have to like, you know, take action, do something about it, and you know, just do it.